What is going on, everyone? Jim here. You know the channel name. I'm out in the barn tonight doing a little bit of work on the old axial Scx24's. And that work, everybody, would be tires and wheels and tread patterns and things of that nature. Going into the tires, everybody, real quick here. They look great. Awesome tires, very scaled, very realistic, work great indoors. As soon as you take them outside into the real world environments, start getting them into some moist sand, they load up very quick and become useless just as quick. So my goal for today, everybody, was to do a little bit of trimming on the tread patterns, trying to open them up just a little bit and let them evacuate that material somewhat easier than how they are right now. Looking at our tread patterns, okay, everyone, our stock BFG crawler TA, which is this guy right here. I did a couple different tread patterns with this tire, everyone, two in particular. All right, everybody, before we get started here on custom cutting tires and treads and things of that nature, this is a do-it-at-your-own-risk kind of situation. If you decide to take a pair of scissors to your tires and you cut a hole through the sidewall on your tire, please don't come crying to me, everybody. It's your own responsibility. If they're your vehicle, your tires, your scissors, your fingers working the scissors. If you cut too low on the tire because you're being careless or because you improper lighting or anything of that nature, and you go through the sidewall, that's your responsibility, everybody. I've wrecked sets of tires doing this. Very easy to go through the sidewall. Here's a set of Baja claws right here. This is a good set of Baja claws, but this Baja claws, everybody, very supple rubber on the sidewall, so the carcass is very thin on these and really, really easy to go through the carcass on them. So you got to be careful, especially when you're trimming the Rc4wd drive tires, just because they are so darn supple. It's your own responsibility, everybody. If you decide to take a pair of body scissors to your vehicle and cut down your tires, if you go through the tires and wreck them, that's your fault, guys. So just keep that in mind. So looking at our BFGoodrich crawler TA, everybody, I did two different patterns on the crawler TA. First pattern I did, that was the first pattern I did. This is the second pattern I did, which I believe is the better pattern to use. So looking at the crawler TA, everybody, all of our silver dots here, that is our new tread pattern on this tire. Excuse me for fumbling this vehicle around here. That is our new tread pattern. So we're basically getting these little hooks like a tractor tire all the way up and around, all these little alternating hooks. And then we have a big open gap, boop, 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 in between all the hooks, which is going to allow this tire to evacuate any kind of material and hopefully prevent them from loading up. So I believe this is a pretty solid tread pattern to use on the BFGoodrich crawler TA. And it also doubles the tire flex, everybody, once you get done removing all that extra rubber off the tires. Which, once again, I did 1, 2, 3 lugs here. And then 1, 2, 3 lugs over here, alternating. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and just wrapping that pattern all the way down. So 1, 2, 3 right there. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So you guys are getting the idea there on our tread pattern. Hopefully the camera is going to focus in on this, so it's not going to be focusing in on my fingers. So that is what we did here, everybody. And once again, that's going to double up on your overall sidewall flex because you're just removing all that extra rubber and it's giving that tire more room to flex. So that is our tread pattern on the BFGoodrich crawler TA. And once again, I believe that is a fairly solid tread pattern. That should hook up quite nicely with all these little mini hooks right here. That is going to hook up awesome. And having these big open gaps is also going to allow these tires to clear out just as well. So that is a very solid tread pattern right there, everybody. Pretty easy to do when you're doing it, but once again, gotta be careful that you just don't cut in too low on your tire. You don't want to get into that carcass. You start cutting in too low and get into that carcass, man, and it's game over on that. Alright, guys and gals, moving on to the next BFGoodrich crawler TA. This is the set off of my personal Jeep and the set that I did first. So hindsight is 2020. Taking a look at these tires, everybody. Very easy tread pattern to do, and pretty pretty much foolproof as far as traction goes. You're pretty much guaranteed traction. No mistake in that. And very easy to accomplish. All of our silver dots, everybody, are what we have left for existing tread. And then all the gaps in between are the treads that are removed, or the lugs that are removed. So pretty foolproof tread pattern here, everybody. Pretty easy to do. Not too hard to mess up. I'm not going to be able to do it for you on camera, but once again, using a pair of curved body scissors, curved side up. I usually come in, everybody, and just pinch that tire like that, and then come in like this and just snip, 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 snip all the way across the tire, making sure that you don't go in too far. Sorry about that, camera not picking up on it. Making sure that you don't go down too far. I actually left just a little bit of a microscopic ridge right here on the edge, everybody. Just a little teeny weeny bit of rubber right there on the edge. So you don't have to cut down too far with the scissors, everybody. I just really got the scissors flush with the top of the tire, with the sidewall, making sure I was pinching that tread like that. Let's use one for an example, like this, everybody. And coming in just like that. If we can focus in on it. And then cutting it like that. So just basically keeping the blades flush with the top of the tire, making sure that I got a good pinch on it, making sure that I'm getting all of the lug and none of the carcass. And then once again, very easy to make your way through to cut this tread pattern. And relatively foolproof tread pattern, really can't go wrong. You know it's going to clean out without a problem. But once again, like I said, the other crawler TA with that chevron style pattern is definitely a much better way to go. Alrighty, everybody. Here's an Rc4wd drive, Mickey Thompson, Baja claw. So the pattern that I usually like to do on the Baja claws, everybody, not just the mini tires, but all Baja claws. I'm sure I'm not the only one that does this. I'm sure everybody out there probably does. If you look at this, everybody, we have a shorter row of lugs and a longer row of lugs. Shorter row, longer row. Shorter row doesn't go all the way out to the sidewall. Longer row does. And that alternates, everybody. So we have a long row right here, where my finger is, and a long row right here. Short row below it. So long row, short row. Long row over here, short row over here. Long row over here, short row over there. So you see how that alternates all the way around the tire. And what I basically do, everybody, is I just remove the short row on all of these tires. Once again, I usually wear a pair of reading glasses while I'm doing this, making sure that we are cutting the short row. I'll pinch that tire just like that, everybody. Pair of scissors. I try to get the scissors so they're just resting on the carcass of the tire. And you want to make sure, like I'm looking through the camera, so this is bad news here. You really want to make sure that you're cutting the right one, that you don't go through the carcass. So you get right up here on the surface just like this and just very gently take some of that off. The only reason I was taking some of this off on the sidewall is because that really adds to the flex on the overall tire, removing just this little bit of nub that's on the sidewall here. So we have to be very careful about that. I'm just going to look above the camera here, everybody. Do not have my reading glasses on. Reading glasses on. They're on now. Alright, everybody, so hopefully the camera is going to give us a little bit of focus here. These scissors have cut some tires, so you get a little bit, I have to get a little bit further into the scissor before I'll start cutting the tire, cutting the thread. And hopefully you can see what's going on here. I'm actually looking over top of the camera, because this is, once again, it's not something you want to mess up. There we go. So we just removed that row right there. Pretty easy, once again, to do all that. Like I said, I just kind of pinch the tire like that, get into it with a pair of scissors, try to get the scissors so that we're going to push that chunk of rubber right through into the blade on the scissor. Once again, pinching that tire, pushing that tread up. That way when I get the scissors on here, I'm going to be putting the scissor right there, right on that edge, but just making sure that we don't go too low with our cut. And after you do so many of them, I really don't recommend doing this too often.
doing that, you can pull a hole right through the tire doing that. If you are going to do that, I recommend just kind of pulling this back a little bit and then use the scissors to cut that remainder off of there. If you are going to pull a maneuver such as that. So there we go, another row. Now once again, you don't have to go all the way down to the bottom here. If you can look closely, everybody, you see that there is just a little hairline of tread left on that tire, which isn't a big deal. That's not going to load up with mud or anything, and if anything, it's actually going to give you a little bit more traction. So you should be better off with leaving a little bit on there versus getting it completely flush with the tire. You get it completely flush with the tire, everybody, once again, you're really running the risk of cutting a hole through this tire. And sometimes rubber consistencies aren't there, you know, so you're looking at this tread and you're thinking, okay, that's solid rubber all the way down through. Not always the case. Sometimes there's little air pockets in the rubber, and you'll get something like that right there. Like it looks like a little void, and it's basically just an air pocket that was in the rubber. Doesn't show up when you're running around with full lugs, you know, but if you start cutting through them, it might expose itself. So you have to be very careful about that, everybody. Once again, I'm trimming a little bit off the sidewall, just this little lip right here, that little square nub, and then this little piece as it curves around the sidewall, cutting that piece off as well. And once you get rolling on this, everybody, it actually goes pretty quick. Especially the Mickey Thompsons. These guys are pretty easy to trim. Once again, see, there's one of those situations where the rubber is just not quite cut. That's why I'll take the pair of scissors like that and bring it in on the other side and just finish the cut, just to make sure that we're not going to pull a hole through the tire and damage it. We once again have a little divot right there, but it's not going through the tire, so we're okay. And staying a little bit above, leaving a little bit of tread on that. So really easy to do this tread pattern, everybody. Once again, I usually do one side of the tire all the way around and then go to the other side and cut the other side all the way around. So it gives you an idea on what you have to do. Once again, removing the short row, not the long row. So we're going to take this one right here in the middle. This guy right here. And I can feel that I was probably getting a little close to the sidewall on that one. Get a good pinch on that. Not quite there yet. Sorry about that, guys and gals. I'm looking over the camera once again. So I left a little bit of chunk there, everyone. So one of these situations, you can come in from the side, pinch it like that, and just trim out that excess a little bit that was left on there. Before you do this, everybody, it's usually you're better off coming through and plucking all that little bit of rubber that's left in from the mold. That way you get good definition between your treads. I usually do that with all my tires beforehand. These have already been somewhat plucked, but you have to leave stuff on there for an example. So basically there's your idea, everybody. You're alternating that row of treads all the way around. One here, one here, one here, one here, just removing that short row. And that is what you got to do for the Mickey Thompsons. And after you're done, you end up with this. Nice little pattern right here. Guaranteed to get traction, guaranteed to clean out, and has all kinds of tire flex. I did leave the tire foams in here because the Jeep is gaining some weight now, so tire foams are a little bit beneficial. So that is our tread pattern on our Mickey Thompson Baja claws with our nice gold method wheels there, which look great on that Jeep. Once again, and these silver wheels, man, they just look stellar on there too. Look very good when you get those silver wheels on there as well. Sitting on the Jeep. Yeah, it's a good fit. Too bad that Axial does not sell them other than in black. What are you guys doing, Axial? You guys ought to have these things in chrome. You got to have them in red chrome. You should have them in green chrome, blue chrome, orange chrome, gold. You know, what's going on, Axial? What's your guys' deal? Horizon Hobbies, Axial. I got to get the lead out there. Taking a look at the Nitto Trail Grappler, man. You know, couple things about this tire. Number one, everybody, this is a larger diameter tire than any of the other mini tires. This is the largest diameter tire that you can get for these vehicles. And, you know, it's a real shame that they don't make more tires that are this diameter for these vehicles, because that larger diameter tire, everybody, is a huge benefit. It gets your vehicle higher off the ground, it gets your axles higher off the ground, giving you more clearance for going over top of rocks and things of that nature. Just a big benefit all the way around. Is once again real disappointment that the only two vehicles that they decided to put those tires on, the Axial Scx24 Jeep CRCs and the Deadbolt, the little mini pickups, they come with the BFGoodrich Crawler TAs, which are significantly smaller, guys and gals, than the Nitto Trail Grappler. So there they are, even on the bottom. Huge difference right there, everybody. And that translates the same way when you're going off road. Your axle heights, you know, if your tires are lined up here bottom to bottom, there's the difference in your axle height. A little bit of a difference there. Your axle's higher off the ground with a bigger tire. Makes sense. So definitely more beneficial. The only two vehicles that come with them are the Jeep and the Deadbolt, other than buying them separately on the side. And I don't necessarily care for the actual Nitto Trail Grappler tread pattern, or the sidewall, or the carcass on the tire at all. The carcass of the tire, everybody, kind of janky, really. It has a square sidewall on it, very square sidewall. So when you push down on it, it just doesn't have that much flex. It kind of bends, like it caves in and folds like a crease, like pushing in on a cardboard box, more than pushing in on a soft rubber compound tire, such as the Mickey Thompsons, for instance. You know, these guys are very, very supple tire. Once again, you're looking at it on camera, it probably looks the same when you're pushing in on it, but there's a big difference between the Mickey Thompsons and the Nittos. Big difference between the BFGoodrich Crawler TAs and the Nittos too, as far as overall sidewall stiffness and things of that nature goes, and just overall shape. Look at the Crawler TA, everybody. It's a rounded tire, more rounded on the surface, which is going to be better off-road ultimately. Less apt to dig holes, and it's going to be better flotation in the sand and things of that nature. Square tires like this are more apt to just dig holes and sink themselves down into the ground. So yeah, big difference there between the BFGoodrich Crawler TA. Definitely a difference in size between the Crawler TA, once again, and the Nitto Trail Grappler. And once again, it'd be nicer if they made a BFGoodrich Crawler TA in this size, the larger size. It'd be nicer if Rc4wd made some Mickey Thompson Baja claws that were this size as well. I'd like to see, once again, more manufacturers putting out tires for the minis that are the larger diameter, like the Nitto Trail Grapplers. It would, once again, be more beneficial for everybody. So let's get into the tread pattern here, tread pattern on our Nitto Trail Grappler MTs. So this is one of those tires, everybody, that was kind of difficult to come up with a nice pattern for it as far as things go. But it was easy to trim. The rubber trimmed off very nicely. Easy to cut. No damage. I didn't wreck any tires in the process of trimming these. Just because, once again, sidewall difference in the rubber between the Rc4wd tires and the axial tires. Rc4wd being more supple, softer, more gummy, easier to cut through the sidewall. These being a little bit stiffer, a little bit tougher to cut through the sidewall. I mean, it's not impossible. I'll tell you that. It's very, you can do it real easy. So don't test it. So this is how your tread pattern looks, everybody. You got fat lug, small lug, big SS chevrons there, and another long fat lug here. So this is what I did, is I left one complete row. So one complete row untouched. And then the next row down, I removed the outer lug right there. And I left that one skinny lug right here in the middle. I removed our two little chevrons here in the middle, our two little lightning bolts there in the middle. Left our one skinny nub right here in this, on the inside of the tire. And cut off that excess on the outside. And then left a complete row. Took the outside lug, left the inside lug, took out the lightning bolts, left the inside lug, took the outside lug. Very easy pattern, everybody. And so there you go. That's what we end up having with that. Is two knobbies right here, open gap. Full row. Two knobbies, open gap, full row. And that is basically the pattern that we got going on for the Nitto Trail Grappler. Once again, trying to get this baby to open up a little bit further so it'll clean out better and give us a little bit more gap in between these treads, which will give these treads a little bit more of a chance to actually grab and give you some traction. And also adding flex to the tire as well by removing rubber on it. You're making the tire softer in the process. So it's a win-win all the way around. I believe I've got one laying around that I haven't trimmed yet. Right here, everybody, we got one sitting right here, all good to go, ready to be trimmed. Get my camera to maintain its orbit here, maintain its focus. Hopefully it's not going to go out of whack on me here. So my goal here, everybody, is to take this little outer lug. And I want to take a little bit off the sidewall. You see that straight up angle right there? I want to kind of round that over slightly. Once again, being very careful that we don't go through the sidewall on this tire. So I'm looking over the tire right now, wearing a pair of reading glasses, pinching the rubber like that. Trying to pinch it and push that rubber up as far as you can. No innuendos here, everybody. Just making a slight cut right there. And there is our one outer lug removed. Once again, you don't have to get all the way down to the base of the tire. If you leave a little bit on there, it's not the end of the world. Moving into the center here on our center lugs. These are a little bit more difficult initially to make your first cut on these center lugs. I like to start right here on this chunky one and then work that way, and then flip the tire around and start over here and work this way. So once again, making sure we're in the right spot. Hopefully the camera can see what we got going on here. Pushing up on the tire, pinching the tire up as far as I can. Pinching that lug up as far as I can. Getting the scissors flush with the top of the tire. You kind of want to listen while you're cutting through as well, everybody. If you start going through the sidewall, you will actually almost hear it on the scissors. You hear that tearing on the scissors. So we just removed one of those little lightning bolts right there. Like I said, I flipped the tire around this way. That way I can start cutting that chunky lug out right there. Making sure that we are staying in our straight line. So we got our lug removed, our little knobby, our little lightning bolt. So we need to remove this lightning bolt right here and this other lug right there, using my fingers to line up the line. So this is the one that's got to come out. So we pinch the tire like that. Get our scissors nice and flush. Take off that one part of it. And take off the other part. Now spin the tire back around again and take off that one outer lug that we need to take off. Once again, you always want to eyeball here, everybody, and make sure that you're still in line, that you're taking the right lug off, because if you take the wrong lug off, you can't put it back on. It's too late. So measure twice, cut once, everyone. And the Nittos can be difficult to pinch up because, once again, is that square sidewall. Once again, they want to fold. They really don't want to bend. So making sure that we're back on the right row, which is this guy right here. I'm getting off track while I'm looking on the camera here. Trying to make sure that you guys can see what's happening. Boy, that baby just does not want to fold. Sometimes you can just push the scissors on the edge of the tire like that. And push the tire into the scissors to force it to fold. There we go. And we got our lug removed. Alright, so now we got that one removed. That's our first row done. We just move on to the next row. So we got our outer lug removed, left our skinny knobby, took out our two lightning bolts, left the skinny knobby, removed the lug. We're going to leave this row intact and move on to the next one. Start by cutting the outside lug and then go on to your SS bolts and then out to the other outside lug. Once again, not trying to confuse our SS bolts with anything. So nothing racial going on there, everybody. Just saying they look like little lightning bolts or little S's. That's just what they look like. If you want, you can come over here and cut the other side before you do your little lightning bolts there. That way you make sure that you're still in line. And once you get to cutting on these guys and gals, once you start working on them and working your way along, see, I was just trying to cut out the skinny side first. It's a little bit difficult to get that skinny part of the lug into the scissor. So you're better off spinning the tire around and aiming this way. Once again, everybody, this is what I was trying to say there. Once you start working on this project, it goes by pretty quick. Once you get your initial pattern going. Like anything, it's just a matter of getting that pattern going, and once you get it started, it's very easy from there on out. So there's our one lug there. We moved our lug. We got to take out our other logo here, our little lightning bolts. I'm going to spin the tire around, get up on that fat lug there. There we go. So the next row is done. We're skipping a row. That's the row we just did because I spun the tire around. Skip a row, move on to our next one. There's our outer lug. Move on to our lightning bolt. Don't do this hastily, everybody. You want to make sure, don't be in a hurry. I say it goes fast, and it does go fast once you get your pattern started, but you don't want to be in a hurry. Don't start rushing anything. As soon as you start rushing things, everybody, that's when mistakes happen. You get distracted, start watching TV while you're trimming your tires. Very easy to get distracted. So I recommend very good lighting for doing this. I'm sorry about that, everybody. I recommend very good lighting for doing this. And if you don't quite have 20/20 vision anymore, if you're a little bit getting up in the age there a little bit more, I'm 45, 46, somewhere in that area. I have to wear a pair of reading glasses. Not mine. They're my dad's reading glasses, everybody. They're right here. This nice pair of stylish reading glasses. Picked up from your local pharmacy. Off the shelf. But it definitely helps out for doing some of this finer work as you get older. Seeing some of these lugs. When all you young guys, you'll have no problems seeing this, and you're probably laughing at me for it, but that's basically what happens when you get older. Moving on to our next cut row. Yeah, measure twice, cut once. Eyeball to make sure that I was still on my right row. Once again, I'm looking through the camera, looking over the camera, trying to make sure that you guys, most importantly, can see what I'm doing here. Alright, so that is another row finished. And so that's all you gotta do, everybody. Just alternating that tread pattern around. Very simple to do. Where is our finished tire? Our silver dot guy here, and this is what we end up having. Is our lug on the inside, lug on the inside, nothing on the outside, nothing on the outside, nothing in the middle. Full row. Cut that one outer one off the middle, off the outside, sorry about that. Leave our inner one, cut our two very inner ones. Leave this next inner one, cut the outer one. Leave a full row. Cut the outer one, cut the two center ones. Cut the outer one. Leave a full row. Repeat the process. So that's going to give us a nice little alternating tread pattern, which once again should clear out the mud and debris much better than it did previously, and should allow these tires to hook up once again much better than they did previously, and give them a lot more flex than they had previously as well. Alright, everybody, that is going to do it here on our tire trimming video. Once again, Axial, Horizon Hobbies, you guys need to step up to the plate, man. You guys need to offer some different colored wheels other than just black. And, you know, maybe even offer the satin wheels, I mean, other than on this truck. That's the only way you can get them at the moment. Tires as well, Axial, Horizon Hobbies, you guys need to step up to the plate and make some bigger darn tires. I mean, it'd be really nice to have a set of BFGoodrich Crawler TAs that were the same outer diameter as these Nitto trail grapplers. That is for sure. Rc4wd drive guys and gals over at Rc4wd Drive, same thing. It'd be really nice to have, probably your best tire here for the minis is the Mickey Thompson Baja Claw. It would be really nice to have a Baja Claw that was the same size as this Nitto Trail Grappler as well. Once again, big difference between our tire sizes there. So it'd be really nice to have this Mickey Thompson in a tire that was the same size as that one right there. So you guys need to step up to the plate there, manufacturers, and start manufacturing some nicer wheels, some wheel options, and some larger tires. So that's going to do it, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Once again, questions and comments are always welcome, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks again.